6% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Why will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much it happens are picking from. Good morning and welcome to the last edition of the week of Inside Nigeria, reaching you on leadership celebration. Today is 15th of July 2022. It's my pleasure to be hosting you on today's program. My name is Winifred Ubeho, and we have in the studio our public affairs analyst and a commentator too is Majid Dahiru.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
And apologies for
You are being unavoidably
I went
absent.
on a road. I went
Yes.
without leave for 2 weeks.
It's good to have you on the
It's good to be
program.
back.
And you are coming at a time that the polity is heated up
It's heated
with
up.
his APC, the ruling party's Muslim ticket.
Yes.
And papers for this week, since the news broke, the papers have been leading with this story,
Yes.
especially on SGF, Papachi Lawa's
Yeah. Intervention.
inspirations. Okay, without wasting time, still story on APC's presidential candidate and his running mate. This is what Leadership Friday is leading with. Let's see the headline story. Amid tension over Muslim ticket, APC chiefs unveiling of Shettima as Tinubu's running mate. Amid tension over Muslim ticket, APC chiefs unveiling of Shettima as Tinubu's running mate. Party support groups reject ex-Bono governor. Babachi insists on Muslim Christian ticket. INEC closes portal midnight. NMPP's Kwankwaso picks Bishop Idahosa as running mate. He's not a threat to us in Northwest APC. That's the leading story on Leadership Friday, Nigeria's only and first Friday newspaper.
It's been a very tense week
Very, very tense.
since the
Very tense.
announcement of Kashif Shettima as Tinubu's substantive running.
The most surprising of the opposition is Papachi Lawa. But Papachi Lawa, since his inglorious exit from his position, has been silent.
Yes.
It suddenly
Came
came
out.
up.
Okay, let me first of all on the issue of Muslim tickets. It is not fair. It is not actually the right thing to do, because for a plural country like Nigeria, we must be very sensitive to some of our religious and ethnic as well as geographic plurality. And so balancing is a key component of forming a government of national unity. So it is understandable the outrage, and it's even justified, particularly from the Christian members of the APC. But I want to emphasize again, the Christian members of the APC, particularly from the north. So I empathize with them. If I may say, I would say I stand with them. And the candidates must find a way to assuage their feelings because they've been members of the party. They've been loyal, they've been faithful all along. And honestly, it's not a sad one. However, again, I have stated it elsewhere, that given the dynamics in the politics today, I think the choice of Kashif Shettima may have been inevitable.
Yes.
Because on the Muslim ticket, it was the PDP that drew the first blood. And I think for how many months now, I've been talking about this issue.
Yes.
When the PDP zoned the special candidate to the north, in order to opportunistically grab what is now the famous largest voting bloc in the northwest and the northeast, the Muslim north rather, by fielding a northern Muslim candidate. Even when another northern Muslim president is given office in 2020 after 8 years, with the prospect of another 8 years of northern Muslim presidency, they drew the first blood. I I can assure you that the only reason a Muslim was picked as running mate is because of the challenge that the PDP candidate, not candidacy, poses to the APC. And so, in having this conversation, we must background it with the original sin that was committed by the PDP. When it gets in zoning, and we said it here that it should not, it's a misadventure that is not going to profit the PDP, as we have seen. Because Kashim Shettima is a very formidable candidate, vice president candidate, that will complement the Tinubu candidacy effectively in terms of political advantage going into that next election. So for me, apart from the fact that yes, the members of the APC that are northern Muslims, something must be done to assuage their feelings. Something must be done to guarantee them inclusion in other aspects of the government if the APC wins, urgently by the president leading that negotiation, leading that process of reconciliation. Otherwise, what has happened is that the APC has beaten the PDP to its own game of bigotry of numbers, upon which it deficient zoning arrangement. I would have seen it producing, most likely, a southern Christian candidate on the platform of the PDP, particularly in party that is supported by the Christian population in Nigeria. So the PDP created this crisis, this situation, and the biggest blame for this should go to the PDP first for talking about the APC. Now, on the issue of Bachilawa, I find it quite curious that even though I say it with all sense of responsibility that the northern Christian wing of the APC have every reason to be aggrieved, and their grievances must be addressed and addressed very well this time around.
Yes, but how be? Don't you think that they ought to have been also just like what you said that they have to be assuaged? Let them know that they are interested in winning because parties, you are in it to win.
So that is
not
what
to
that kind of
placate some-
conversation should come from the president and then the candidates.
Yes.
As well as even the running mate. I say this because the members of the party they be supporting the party. And so something must be done that discussions must happen,
Yes.
between now and when the unveiling will take place. It's very important. And now the thing is this. The candidate himself,
And-
as far as
and then-
people,
Yes, you were talking about Baba Chilawa.
yes. So like I said, the candidate is somebody that is a political grandmaster.
Oh, yes.
Kashi Fatima is
Give it
also,
to him.
so both of them, I believe they can resolve this matter. But again, it's not fair. It's not something that we should gloss over. Religion matters in politics. If it didn't matter, you would have picked a Christian. It's because it matters that you didn't pick a Christian. So religion matters. And so we must not push it away. We must not gloss over it. They must sit together to resolve it. Again, you talk about the very important thing, winnability. Since the PDP is talking about winnability and criticism zoning, you can't really blame the APC for something what it can do to guarantee power shift to the south, which is more important for me as a Nigerian.
Yes.
So I would rather support a candidacy, whether it is Muslim, Christian, that guarantees power shift to the south
Yes, yes.
than a so-called balance ticket between Muslims and Christians that perpetually relegates Christians and Southerners to number 2 position for another 16 years. Now that's
Yes,
that's not something that everybody should contemplate.
Yes.
But on the Bachilawa issue, I have a reservation about that. Strongly. Number one, Abachi was SGF in this country. When you talk about the divided polity today, being the reason why this is actually raising eyebrow, even though it has happened in the past before. Same fair ticket happened before. In 2011, there was same free ticket in the election. Most people don't know this. Ribadu and Adiola, Fola Adiola, former chairman of the GTB, ran a Muslim ticket on the platform of the ACN in 2011. Yes, and
Fola Adiola was
he's a Muslim. And of course, not to talk of the June 12, 1993 presidential election between MK and in 79, we had fake tickets. I mean, Awolowo ran with Philip Umadi, one of us. It was even a Southern Christian ticket. Something with Enam Dafiku, he ran with Professor Shai Audu from those Christian, he from South. So, as unjustified as it is, what I said is that the divided politics today. Babachila was SGF in the government that did the most to divide this country to the point where same faith ticket has raised this red flag. Babachila was in government when people are complaining about marginalization and all sorts of injustices in this country, perpetrated by the same government. It was in government. It was the most uncouth, the most verbose government official who dismissed any of these concerns, including the violence visited upon Christian communities in the north, by bandits and terrorists. He didn't win back. Most importantly, in the statement I read it thoroughly, there were contradictions there that many people didn't see. And I'll tell you how and when. If you recall, in the week before the primaries of the APC, suddenly the APC that everybody thought was going towards the south, the party came and tried to announce that Ahmed Lawan is the constitutional candidate, and the president told him that Ahmed Lawan.
Yeah.
This prompted Tinubu to, it's like when a man's scrotal sack is squeezed, you don't
You're
shout.
telling me.
He don't shout at we look on, making me,
We look up.
meaning what that meant was, let me fight, let me die fighting, than die a coward. Babaki was the first to denounce Tinubu and said the North is no longer going to support him, that he has lost it.
That he wasn't the only one that supported Buhari. That brought
And
Buhari
went
to
on and
power.
on and on. Which North? Babaki that they were referring to. The North at that time that was standing as consensus candidates, supposedly, was Ahmed Lawan, a Muslim. In essence, Babaki chickened out of what was supposed to be an honorable thing to do, which is power shift. It was Kashim Shettima who came out and said, Tinubu is right to say Emilio Khan because of his contribution to shooting power to the North, and that we owe him a duty to reciprocate. It is honorable thing to do. It was Kashim that took the war. I said nobody should blame Tinubu for saying what he said. He should have said it, and he should say it. He took the war to his brother from the neighboring Ebo State, Senate President Lawan, and said Lawan should not be allowed to be. He did it. And that he should go to the south. It was this same man that convinced the northern governors, his former colleagues, to take that principle stand to say, Mr. President, power is going to the south, and we'll stand by power shift. These same people, Lawan, Kashim Shettima, and his comrades, I praised them here and said, these are men of honor. These are men that said, we want to make it a Nigeria where only a northerner will not be winning presidential election. Kashim was emphatic on this point, that we should not make it look like only a northerner can win elections. That we are not PDP. Why should go to the south?
I remember that remark. We are not PDP.
Even at that, TDP was not settled on. 5 names were presented to the president.
Yes.
Some of them included people from across the geopolitical zones in the south, across religious lines. In fact, only one Muslim was among Tinubu. Had Osibanjo, had Ubangi, had Amechi. I've forgotten the 5th person now. Submitted the president pick one of these.
Even the former governor
Akwa Ibom said,
Babio.
pick one of these. The president said, okay, I will not nominate anybody. Do free and fair power. They put it out to 3. Amechi was there, Osibanjo was there, Tinubu was there. 2 Christians, 1 Muslims. 1 from the south, 2 from the southwest. They put it down. The president said, I will not nominate. He told the president, choose anyone, including Umahi. We'll vote for him. We, the governors, will vote for that person. We won't buy to go to the south. That's all. When the president didn't indicate an interest, they now decided that since Lawan was standing, and you don't know what Lawan is, who is backing Lawan at this point. Since the chairman had said that Lawan is a consensus candidate, and the president has agreed to it, even it was denied.
Yes, it was later denied.
Now the question was, what if we now go scattered way and we don't achieve powership because somebody we don't know is backing Lawan and backing Lawan wins this primaries? Or that is what the southern people that are also Christians has already thrown their way behind Lawan. People like Ochikalu, people like Kupu Zodiman. Christians, they throw their way behind Lawan, straight. It was these same governors, most of the Muslims, said no, it has to go to the south. If religion was the factor for Tinubu's emergence, Tinubu is not qualified, you know what I mean? It was simply the fact that when the truth opened, they discovered that Tinubu is the only person who has the gravitas, who has invested too much in this party. He founded this party politically. The structures are his. In the former election, he win. So they now decided to go and use the support behind him in case Lawan springs a surprise. When somebody says it's anointed candidate, you don't know who has anointed him, truly. That was how Tinubu emerged ahead of others. Clearly contested, open, free, and fair. The governor said, have to be with Tinubu. More aspirants stepped down for Tinubu, including Christians, including Muslims. It was a political thing. And he emerged. Having emerged, with Atiku still standing on this side, people are already rejoicing. Atiku, House of Fulani will vote against Atiku. Against Tinubu and vote for their own. The same people that are complaining of Muslims don't ticket today, we are celebrating the bigotry of the fact that people do not vote outside of their religion or ethnicity. And we are propping their own candidate from their own party to benefit from the shift of power in the APC. So to plug that, to make that not possible, they now acceded to the demands of the guys of the zone, the Muslim northern zone, so that our people do not look the other way.
Yes.
Pick somebody who's also competent. Cashin is competent for this job. Very, very competent. Again, like I said, I wish it would have been a Christian movement. But we're discussing the core political issues here. PDP created the situation. Now, in Lawa's treatise, he said something there. That in any case, that the Muslim bloc will not vote for Tinubu, that they vote for one of their own, that their first child has finished, Atiku Buhari, Atiku is their second child, and they vote for that. It is in their nature. In one breath, you are condemning what you call injustice. In another one, you are saying, in any case, these people, you are glorifying the fact that they do not vote outside ethnicity and religion. What a contradiction.
Baba Chilawa.
In that same letter.
He's a Christian.
How is a Christian? So already you have proven Tinubu right, but also trying to plug into that those people you say don't vote outside.
Yes.
So what is that your complaint if you know? I think it's just bitter. Because maybe he thought he should have been the one.
Oh yes.
We didn't work for this.
Because suddenly somebody that has never promoted the interests of Christians
At all in this country. He was in government when
he
was in government when they slaughtered people.
people are saying he's now quoting copiously from the Bible.
He was in government when people killed Christians coming from the church in Plateau. What was his reaction? He was in government when it happened in Benue. What was his reaction? He has been in this party all along. When people are complaining that there's an imbalance in security agencies, or did they not hear the cry of a predominantly Christian part of the country called the Southeast? To the point that they want to secede from Nigeria. They didn't hear that cry. Again, I'm not saying what was happened is absolutely right.
No, I agree with you, and many people also share your views.
But if you place on the scale the imperative of power shift to the south, whether it's the Christian, Hindu, anything he wants to be, and retaining power again in the north for 8 years, 16 years stretch, I think the power shift, even though it's Muslim, comes closest to equity and fairness.
It does.
And retaining power in the north.
Tinubu is from the south. First and foremost, it's the southerner.
And let us go to the southwest. The rest of us Nigeria must learn from the southwest. When it comes to religious harmony, the southwest is a thoroughly religiously, culturally, tribally integrated zone.
Yes, it is.
Where an average Yoruba man is a Muslim, is a Christian, is a traditional at the same time. That is why if you go to southwest today, you have out of 6 states, you have 5 that are Christians, that are Muslims, that are Christians. Only one is a Muslim. Tinubu has never been known to play politics of religion because religion does not play a role in southwestern Nigerian politics. It does not. That's why, as Awolowo was the leader of the UPN, Awolowo fielded Alhaji Lateef Jakonde and Alhaji Jafojo as governor and deputy governor for Lagos State. If I'm not mistaken, Bisi Onabanjo, the governor of Ogun State, was also a Muslim. From Awolowo's own Ogun State. Even in the First Republic, Awolowo supported Dauda Adegboyero, a Muslim, Alhaji Dauda Adegboyero, for premier, and opposed Samuel Akintola, a Christian, for the same position. That is Southwest for you. So a Southwesterner can fit into any situation in terms of religious balancing. Because traditionally, you hardly would even, there's nothing so Muslim about it. Until very recently, I lived in Lagos when he was governor. I found it difficult to reconcile that Tinubu is actually a Muslim. Not because he's not a Muslim, but because
of
that's how they are. Yes, so it is unfair for some people's part, not acknowledge this fact. Yes. When it comes to the Southwest, they can be excused, even though it's not very appropriate for fielding same political because of the peculiarity of the zone they come from. Southwest is a special zone in Nigeria where religion does not matter to them. That is the point.
Because Tinubu's wife is even a Christian.
Tinubu has been conducting
Fashola's wife is a Christian.
New Year Thanksgiving service in Government House since 1999. Fashola continued it. Ambo did contribute. It's been a call. Is it? February attended the one of
Oh, yes,
2014.
yes.
That's how Lagos. There's nothing like religion in Lagos. Everybody is one and the same.
Yeah.
So we need to learn from them. Where religion plays a role is in the southeast, and the Muslim north.
I agree with
Let
you.
me ask you a question, my dear.
I agree with you.
If you conduct a common election in PDP, presidential election, and a powerful figure like David Mark, a Baptist candidate, presidential candidate, and is to pick a running mate from the south or southeast, will you pick a Muslim? Who is the Muslim who is going to pick them? He will definitely pick, especially from southeast, must pick a Christian. That's why he could imagine a man that deputy senate president and the Mark was senate president. Even though that need to go to southeast, so it's not right. We're not saying it's something that we must perpetuate. No.
No.
Look,
In this kind of
let's not be hypocritical. Let us have an whole of our system where it is possible for anybody to be governor of Kano and also man to be governor of Anambra. Yes, that's what I want. But why we are not there yet, the political parties are permutating on how to make do and win an election in a polity that is driven by primordial sentiments of this religion. And PDP drew the first, but when it targeted the so-called 12 million votes in the north by jettisoning zoning. So let them square up with their partner in progress, the APC. In any case, that's not an option. So you can vote.
Yes.
I mean, the options are there.
There's so many options.
So you can vote the one that is your. You can use your PVC to protest against what you do not like in the combination.
Well, let's see. Leadership also has another headline story. Don't allow. Can we have leadership? Yes. Can we have leadership? Don't allow repeat of. I'm not seeing it clearly. Can you just project it? Don't allow repeat of 2018 PDP test Osun voters. This Saturday, parties are going to be slugging it out for the number one position in Osun State. Talking about the gubernatorial election.
Yeah, so I mean,
And tomorrow.
It's a decider between the two major parties because Tinubu has a lot of stake in Osun State, the candidate of the APC.
Who happens to be his cousin?
Yes, he's the political head of that state. He controls the state by remote from Lagos State. So it's going to be a test. But the fact is, the Adeleke as a candidate is a very popular
Still
one.
enjoying massive.
You know, it was perceived that he was robbed in the last election.
Yes.
I know his family, they've been in politics. His elder brother was the governor of that state. Senator, that's another brother as a billionaire businessman,
Yes.
of course, and his younger nephew who
is even there.
Who is a youth sensation. So these people are popular. They are known to have been part of the system, generosity, and all that comes to Nigerian politics, patronage and all of that. So they are well grounded. Even if the candidate comes across as somebody who just dances and sings, the people of Osun apparently are in love with him. But there's something I think might also play a role. Now that they have their own son leading a major ticket, in fact, the ticket of the ruling party.
Exactly, that is what
I am thinking that part of the reason Tinubu didn't turn up for this.
So what also happened in Ekiti?
Yes, part of the reason Tinubu didn't turn up for the unveiling, I am thinking maybe to stay back in Australia and consolidate on what I'm about to talk about, and that is, look, there's an appeal I'm sure that's going on now to say, look, this is not about Adeleke or Oyetola. This is about the opportunity for the Yorubas to president. And if APC loses in Osun, it might deal a blow on that prospect because those in the north that are our allies, my source has not put their hands in order enough to bring the kind of block votes that will guarantee them victory so that they will just add. So these are the things that I'm sure is good on Osun State that might alter the election in favor of the APC. I know how sentiments play a role in the election. Like you said, it happened in Ekiti.
So what happened in Ekiti?
It was as if this is our own now. I mean, I know the APC is essentially an alliance between the northwest, southwest, and the Muslim north. Essentially, if you look at the electoral map in Nigeria since 2015, it's been like that. Why the PDP retains the south or the southeast, and the middle belt area of the north. So somehow the southwest may be looking at this as their own opportunity to be president once more since 1999. Who would want to be president? So these are the two contenders for the election. So it's going to be a very tough and tight race. But I don't know. I don't want to predict anybody. I don't want to predict, but it will be an interesting outcome.
Very, very interesting. So we have about 48 hours, less than
Yes,
48
less than
hours
48 hours.
to find out.
By this
From,
time tomorrow, we should be having early results coming
yes.
in.
Okay, from leadership, we move over to the next paper. We have on our menu, and that is this day newspaper. Article starting with Oshun, an end has come to APC's reign in Nigeria. Article starting with Osun State, an end has come to APC's reign in Nigeria. Says PDP's victory in tomorrow's poll will send message to ruling party. Ayu Okowa, Saraki, governors, others in final campaign for Adeleke. State government denies opposition party use of stadium, creates tension. NSCDC NSCDC deploys 11,226 personnel. That is for tomorrow's election in Osun State.
Yes, the PDP was therefore with a full squad.
Mm.
The candidate himself around the country and headed straight to Osun. The party chairman was there. A number of governors were there. So the president was there. They had to give support to the candidate of the PDP. And it was a massive, mammoth crowd
Yeah.
that came to cheer the PDP candidate and his other members of the PDP. Yes.
Well, viewers, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll be reviewing other papers we have on our menu, and what else we'll be talking about security on Nigerian Tribune and business on national economy at sister publication. Don't go away. We are coming back. Stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. This is Inside Nigerian Leadership Television, in case you are just tuning in. And with me in the studio has been Majid, the hero public affairs analyst, and I'm Winifred Bebo. We are continuing with our newspaper review and discussion. The next paper we have on our menu is Nigerian Tribune. Let's have Nigerian Tribune last week. Insecurity, last 12 years challenging for Nigeria, Buhari. Insecurity, last 12 years challenging for Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari blames terrorism on trans-border insurgents, orders military to wipe out terrorist bandits. I'm leaving behind the legacy of fighting corruption, he says. The story is on page 8 of Nigerian Tribune. Let's have Nigerian Tribune on our screen for our viewers to see.
Indeed, the last 12 years, if you're talking about
We're
the
talking of 4
outbreak,
years of Jonathan's administration.
yes, when the
coupled with
insurgency
this
started in 2010,
Oh,
and this is 2022, so that's about 12 years really.
yeah.
So yes, that's been challenging. Nigeria has not really recovered from it. But this is an indictment on its administration. because it's part of the struggle.
Yes, okay. And he's not seeing it that way.
Yet it's not said it that way.
Mm.
So it means he has not succeeded.
He's not seeing it that way because few days ago they challenged his media handlers, challenged Daily Trust editorial
Is that
that they are leaving Nigeria better than they meant it.
so? I said my response to that was that's why they couldn't do double celebrations that whatever president comes from and Katsina because of insecurity.
Mm.
And why his convoy was attacked for the first time in the history of Nigeria.
Yes.
A president convoy was attacked by bandits. The only last time we saw that kind of attack was when Murtala Mohammed was assassinated in 1976. Ooh. So that means yes, Nigeria is better now because of all of this happening.
And if I may chip in, contrary to what Baba Chilawa, the former SDF, said before, Christians, very much, we actually pray for the president. Because my pastor said it's an affront on not just the president, but on all Nigerians
Of
for the
course,
president's convoy to be
the
attacked.
Christians,
And we have been praying
the
about it.
Christians in Nigeria are patriotic people. When they criticize the president for integrity, it's because they love their country.
Yes.
It's,
It's just not an affront on the president,
No.
but on all
it's a disgrace of
Nigerians.
the entire country.
Uh,
And all the years that people of faith-based organizations and their leaders, not just Christians now, are voicing out. It's because they are the voice of the poor, actually. These are called men of God. So they should speak for the people. So they're like prophets that warn things ahead of issues. So if the plan has taken heed of what the Christian leaders in this country have been talking about for years now, maybe we wouldn't have seen a degeneration of this insecurity to the point where a presidential convoy will come under attack. So what is required is listen to your citizens. When they pray for you, when they criticize you, listen to them. It is part of decision-making progress to get feedback and then act appropriately. So Nigeria right now is worse than any time in its history, not even during the Civil War. Because the Civil War was restricted to, I didn't live in Nigeria, and it was a war. So that civilian casualties, as high as you think it was then, it was a bit limited. There were safe areas or safe corridors. So, but today nobody is safe. Nobody is sure the next moment.
Sure.
And it's getting worse because we're not seeing a solution inside. Our president is lamenting, not like another citizen. Sometimes you wonder, is he the commander in chief or the blamer in chief? Blames terrorism on counter-border insurgents. What is your duty as commander in chief to stop transborder insurgents? Is Nigeria the only country that transborder insurgents can invade? No. Why are they not invading Benin Republic? Why are they not invading Ghana? Why are they not invading Sierra Leone? Why are they not invading Liberia? Why are they not invading Togo? To the north, why not invading Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, and other places that are also bordering the Sahelian by a part of Southern Africa? Why is Nigeria the only one that is this hard hit? Ineffective leadership, poor governance, failure of leadership. And it didn't just happen overnight. This thing was allowed to fester because of government's inability to appreciate the danger we are faced with. First, they described this whole thing as former Haddad's crisis. And we kept working for more than 6 years. But this is not former Haddad's crisis. When we are on that matter, the government was talking about rehabilitating grazing routes, talking about ranching, Ruga, all sorts of initiatives that had nothing to do with the violence being visited on Nigerian farming communities. It had nothing to do with it. They failed to protect farming communities. These people got emboldened and now expanded their terrain across the country. And today we are paying as high as 100 million naira for one abductee. This is scary.
Very, very.
And everybody should be careful because if the price of the price of human life in Nigeria has gotten this premium, 100 million, it's very high right now.
You know, there was something
much
somebody
cover.
said, you know, Nigerians can make a joke or humor out of everything. There was something that I read yesterday that a motivational speaker was motivating some people through his social media that, oh, go, you are like a moving train, nothing will stop in your way, just go. And the person replied, it was a moving train, badly stopped and kidnapped people. You know, it was so funny that it was a moving train.
So, I mean, today, 100 million. So it means this is going to even make more people go into this trade.
And they were so brazen that they could attack the prison, free their
when the government of Nigeria cannot attack any and free citizens. There's something wrong.
Exactly. There's
something
wrong. They are
and
not
the president has
Nigerians.
not decided to take action. I keep saying this. No. When he wants to take action, he will take.
I forget what the governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, said,
Just came
that
to
they
mind.
know that they even listen to their conversations, but they know where they are, where they fail to, or the one
Well,
want
you
to
know, we
run
asked
them.
the question that if Sheikh Gumi can walk into a terrorist den, have a conversation, it means they're not so far flung in areas where security forces cannot get to. Then there's something wrong. It means that somebody somewhere is not giving the right orders. It's as simple as that. So when the president is ready, he will solve the problem. But whether he's ready or not, by 2023, we have to leave office. There will be a new president. And I believe that any of the contenders of this position will do much better than him. Because he has failed in his most fundamental and basic responsibility, which is security. And so his biggest legacy will be insecurity that he left unsolved, that became worse under his administration. How about the legacy of anti-corruption? No, we didn't say anyone on corruption. It was a one-sided, upside-down, inverted one corruption that yielded absolutely no results. Nigeria is worse off today than it was when he came in. So I think we should talk about legacies. The legacy speaks for themselves. A more corrupt, insecure, disunited, impoverished, death-burdened country is what is going to be the legacy of Muhammadu Buhari. As simple as that.
So sad what to take away from today's insecurity issues. From insecurity, let's talk business. Let's move over to Nigeria's leadership sister publication, National Economy. Let's have national economy. Nigeria turns junkyard of obsolete aircraft. Nigeria turns junkyard of obsolete aircraft. Records highest number of grounded aircraft globally, according to reports. Only 44 out of Nigeria's 123 aircraft active. Loses 1.52 trillion naira yearly to overseas maintenance of aircraft. That is the cover story on national economy. Let's have national economy. Let's have you see the cover story of national economy. Nigeria turns junkyard of obsolete aircraft. The records highest number of grounded aircraft globally, according to reports. Only 44 out of Nigeria's 123 aircraft active. Loses 1.52 trillion naira yearly to overseas maintenance of aircraft. That's quite much
Oh my God.
money for maintenance.
You only need to drive
So
through
over
Nigeria's
the years, we
airports.
don't have experts here, trained experts to.
You only need to drive through Nigerian airports to see the number of abandoned aircraft
Yes.
across, like stabiliters, the length and breadth of the airport, major airports in Nigeria. You see, sometimes when we meet up in certain comments, I don't know what anybody's listening. You see, I had an interaction with somebody who worked with Nigerian Airways. And she told me something. She said, look, yes, Nigerian Airways was corrupt. It was not well run. And that, yes, something had to be done. But as at the time that Nigerian Airways was being liquidated and privatized, they were still able to run at a level of covering costs without necessarily making profits. Now, what should have been done then was to fix the problem that was in Nigeria Airways. Now, the death of Nigeria Airways is part of the crisis we are seeing in the aviation sector today. Because Nigeria Airways has all of these facilities, which as a government enterprise, Nigeria Airways had maintenance hangar, had all of the infrastructure, aviation infrastructure over the years that could have been used to support private airlines. And what we needed to have done then was to fix what was wrong with governance in a way that allows Nigerian Airways to be run now in a viable, efficient, and commercial manner. Now, the solution wasn't privatization that led to the balkanization of that behemoth known as Nigerian Airways. And
So
all
the same thing that also happened to Daily Times.
Daily Times.
Daily Times had properties everywhere.
Everywhere,
Even
printing
even,
press, where other
UK
papers
overseas.
could have been printing.
Yes, and you know
we embarked
they
on these
just
things
sold it
without
off at
thinking, and not, those who sold it to had not
because of
converted
his
it to
properties.
use.
Exactly, they just because of properties.
Yes,
And at
corporate
a peanut
undertakers,
compared to the
corporate
properties.
undertakers took over,
Yes.
asset buccaneers, balkanized all of the assets all over the world, and that's what we had. That's the first we had with the Constitutional Corporatization project.
Yes.
Nigeria is supposed to still have and retain a national carrier, national airline wholly owned by the state with all of this infrastructure. When you invest in that sector, you are giving life. It's like a bedrock for aviation industry Nigeria to thrive. Given the volume of trade Nigeria actually operates and the population we have, 123 aircraft in itself is grossly inadequate. We're not talking about 43 aircraft only that are functional. And if you enter, look at them, if you enter some of Nigeria's aircraft, you will know that something is not right. Even those that are flying, some of them are supposed to be grounded. Only managing them to fly.
Oh yes.
I fly some aircraft and I pray from the point of takeoff to landing. I'm like, God,
You've got an eye let
honestly,
myself into
yes.
like a coffee.
There's an airline today that's been grounded. The last time I entered that airline, I told myself that this plane shouldn't be flying. And somehow they couldn't maintain the cost of how do you call it? That this maintenance they do overseas. That is in millions of dollars. They couldn't afford it.
Oh.
Forex, Naira has depreciated against dollars. And they're operating a Naira denominated market. How many Naira will you gather to buy dollar to maintain aircraft?
Yes.
By the time you fly all over Nigeria in a month and you gather money, the next time you're going to buy Forex, the exchange differential would have widened. So you're permanently at loss. So I don't even know how the ones that are operating now are still surviving. I don't know. So a combination of bad economic policies. I mean, when the economy is this terrible, when people are this deprived, no sector can really function fully. So to restore what is left of the relevance of this sector in our economy today is one, we need to stabilize the economy itself. We need to.
And a lot needs to be done.
We can't have the naira sliding on daily basis. We can't. Aviation is a dollar-denominated enterprise. It's linked to the global aviation network. And so for a country like Nigeria that has a problem of forex and the continuously depreciating local currency, our airlines will hardly cope with the cost of maintenance abroad. It's almost impossible. Now, aviation fuel has its own mix. Why? You don't have refineries. Because if you have refineries that refine petrol and you have crude oil as an advantage, you can control the price of refined crude oil, including aviation fuel. And Nigeria will now even become a major player in the West African sub-region because we have the advantage of refined petrol in our own country. So if Ethiopia Airline or Ethiopia as a country needs to import petrol because they don't have petrol, we have the advantage. Make our own airline tickets cheaper.
Yes.
So we outcompete our competitors and make more money.
Yes, exactly.
So it would have been a win-win-win-win situation
for us.
if we have functioning refineries at home. You have a national carrier. So for me, the government can still invest in a national carrier. I'm all for it, but not the way Hadi Sidika is doing about it. No, with some seriousness. That's why I will always commend the government of.
But we don't seem to know how to do business so well. Okay, look at the Lekki dry sea port that was launched. Do you know that they have not also created maybe railway?
That's because.
And the road.
There's one. It's one thing for government to say they are doing business, and that is for the government to actually be doing business.
So at the end of the day, you are still going to have issues that we are having with
Apapa in Lekki. Now,
and see the road.
For God's sake,
Governor Sanwo-Olu promised was going to.
As in Lagos, you do not even need another port. Why can't you divert cargo to Calabar, to Port Harcourt, to parts of Abia, to Warri? Why are we choking Lagos? Why? What's the another port in Lagos? I don't have the infrastructure to channel traffic properly and make the port efficient. So I bring goods into Lagos market, into Lagos port. It costs me more to evacuate from that port and takes me more time
to take it to
my warehouse in Lagos. It costs me more and takes me more time, costs me more man hours.
So even to other parts of the country.
My warehouse in Lagos there, not even from there to say to maybe Jumata or to Alaba. It will cost me much more than the money that I used to freight it from China or Europe.
When are we going to get our things right without having to ethnicize everything? Because I learned that Obasanjo was about looking outside Lagos too, and of course, there were whispers and all those stuff. The
It's not necessary.
decision and the
It's not
decision
necessary.
behind it.
I think at this point we need some administrative or maybe constitutional amendment that allows state governments to run ports. That was what killed Tinapa. If Calabar was allowed to own
Yes,
port
it
as a
was.
state government,
So
Tinapa would have
not
been alive.
like-
And it's not too late because I was in Calabar a few times some time ago, and the infrastructure is still in place, but it's redundant. Nothing is happening there. So I think part of the process of devolution of power should include ports being controlled by the state government. The federal government will still collect excise and duty at all ports.
Okay.
So the thing is, when
Talking
you,
about refineries,
yes,
the President Olusegun Obasanjo actually privatized it. But when Yar'Adua
you see, privatization was
he
not the
rescinded,
yes, privatization
because
was
you cannot
not
have refineries that are not working. You are paying workers, and
no,
at the end of the
put
day,
it to work. It's not this is my argument. Put it to work
it's not working. You know how much that
because
maintenance has
they have
got
not
over the
put
years.
it to work. Somebody is stealing that money.
Mm.
Let us stop.
And-
Let us
And
tell them
people
stop.
don't also want it to work.
So, but the government can make it work if the government wants to make it work. The truth is, no government in 1999 till today has intended to make these things work.
Mm.
As simple as that. Make it work. So, but your own cars are maintained well.
Mm.
The one your aircraft is well maintained
Maintain
by the same government.
Exactly.
Your pension, your salary is well paid, but you cannot do that for the final. No, something is wrong. Make it work. A developing country like Nigeria
They
must
can
have
make it work. I agree
must
with you.
have
The president
government
bought stocks on your table.
must have government involved in the means of production, particularly energy, power, iron and steel.
Yes.
It's something
That's
anybody that tells you to privatize
the
it
economy.
is not. You can privatize power sector. Government has now turned to be coming in to provide bridging funds
Mm.
here and there and bail out privatized companies.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that kind of privatization. So chances are that you would have privatized refineries and the person would have turned into the way other Nigeria will and grow into what you now have today. By the time I buy it, you cannot force me to refine petrol. You can't. But the normally needs refined petrol to be made in Nigeria, government must have a control over it while allowing private sector to come in. And when time to take build a refinery, I like the idea that the government put funds inside. It's good. So that if you export, if it sells locally, government has revenue. Now, government can also convert its own equity to say, okay, can we sacrifice a part of it to bring down the price of refined petroleum? So citizens can have something to run around with. It's also part of it. Secondly, too, government can start to say, okay, we want to give you crude at discounted rate. That you won't buy crude in dollars or with international market rate, no, for local consumption. So the common element in that manner, these are the things one must do to guarantee energy security. Energy security is affordability and availability. If it's affordable but not available, it's not secure. If it's available but affordable, it's not also secure.
Okay.
You need the two must go hand in hand. That's why the world government intervene, subsidize, incentivize energy production because it's very key. It can collapse a country. It can. You see, we deregulated diesel long ago.
That is why we are having this issue.
Thank you. We don't have control over it. You don't. So this is just going, nobody controls the price. And if you know the importance of diesel to running our economy, you will know the kind of problem that we have found ourselves. Thanks to this neoliberal concept that says closing the way to the price sector. How? One country that does that, I don't know any, not America, the Washington consensus was arrived, not UK, not France, not Emirates, not Saudi, not India, not even China. So who are we talking? I don't know what the Osun State debate, Osun debate. I think last one was very excellent in this.
Yes, very, very.
Last one made the point clearly, and I'm like, anybody who's listening, that's what I said. It's what any statement will do now. He said, I don't know who segment has no business in business. I'm going to invest
I
in
know
business.
you've always been saying it on this program.
Anambra has a governor today. Brilliant man. It's class economist. Soludo. Master governor. A professor of economics. Former university teacher. Former advisor and coming to the president. He's got into Anambra state government. Because Soludo believes that government has no business in business. And is ready to invest in businesses. You know, Soludo has tried to do to generate revenue. To tax Okada riders, Keke riders, and bus drivers.
Interesting.
That's the only thing he knows. you begin to wonder, are you sure this education is not a waste for a soludo to come to government? And this is all he can do to raise revenue. Who said anybody should be a Kenya paper? Who said that should be a Kenya paper on the street of any serious country in the first place? Or Canada? For soludo to sit down and know how to invest money in profitable ventures. Now, in the space of 6 months to 1 year, begin to yield revenue for the state. He wants to now tax the poorest of the poor that are dying. People that are not.
It's a position he has waited for many
This
several years.
is also look at going to
And you finally got it.
it tells you the tragedy of economic thinkers, what they imposed on us. That's an apple bomb. I made an example. Odom is just a banker, not an economist. He floated that online. One of the best in Nigeria today. That's a coconut oil factory now. If they're able to sustain this level of investment, in fact, he was even saying he wants to be the hangar in the hangar in Akwa Ibom. That people can now come to instead of going overseas for maintenance.
You know, I talked about it a few days ago in my newsroom, and everybody like that. I said, see, of all the Niger Delta governors,
That's the only place that's created an
that's
economy.
going to use his money wisely.
To create an
You
economy.
won't have known that at least the money is enough.
Yes. So if they sustain it and these enterprises begin to bring in revenues, the state will be able to take care of education, take care of infrastructure, healthcare, and they keep investing
Energy.
energy. They keep investing to expand and expand. I hope and I wish that the next word of Akwa Ibom will be the refinery in that state. That will be the icing on the cake.
Wow, that would be the icing on the cake. I have a takeaway from today's program. This is the last edition for the week inside Nigerian Leadership Television. Mr. Majid, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. This is always your incisive way of analyzing issues today. Wow. What mean? So excited. Well, as is what we call it today on today's program. Don't forget, Monday is still another day, and don't forget to join us same time, same station. And here's wishing you a beautiful weekend. Don't forget to stay safe. Security is a collective responsibility. I remain Winifred Webo. See you. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.